Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMEFocus show brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Chris Greenough, and in this series we will focus on SMEs within the British manufacturing sector. Every week we will discuss and analyse the opportunities and challenges facing the industry in these unprecedented times. I've worked in the sector for over 26 years and I'm CCO at SDE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. As you can hopefully appreciate, this show is very much for manufacturers by manufacturers. My guest today is Rowan Crozier, CEO at Brandauer Co Ltd. Rowan, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for the invite.
Brilliant. Good to see you. So tell us about Brandauer and exactly what it is you and the company do.
So I head up a team of around 50 people based in the centre of Birmingham. We're a SME manufacturer, but I would say we're very niche and high end. So the business is built around precision progression tool making, in particular high-speed carbide inserted progression tooling, and then associated stamping processes that cycle those tools and manufacture up to 1 billion components per year, supplying to 22 countries, 10 different sectors worldwide.
Fantastic. So you mentioned, the sort of volumes you're looking at. We think we do big volume, but you do, super big volume. So what sort of run rate are your presses running at? They're not 20, 30 blows a minute, are they?
No, you can't actually see them going up and down. They're a blur. So we're running the lowest speeds. We're running probably about 150 to 200 strokes per minute, up to around 1,200 strokes per minute. And they're humming like hummingbirds, and you've got product coming off in the millions per shift.
And that really, that really you need. You say you do the tooling as well. It's that precision, that design and precision that really stands you above the competition, isn't it?
Yeah, there's probably only two of us that are capable of running at those speeds in the UK, and certainly two of us only capable of making tooling that can run at those speeds, which is the fundamental heart of what we do. That's our unique selling point, that in-house tooling capability.
And you're a very forward-looking company. I know you've got lots of investment plans, and over the years you've built the company up. What do you see investment-wise for Brandauer for 2021?
For us, it's sort of two halves in terms of investment. There's the cash investment in what I would call technology, but there's also the time and cash, but people investment in our people and the skill side of it. We've invested over the past 3 years an average of around £1 million a year, which is pretty much all of our profits back into the business, and that's into new technology. So high-speed stamping machines from Brandauer and Yamada, and all of the wire EDM, machining capability, design capability that goes into manufacturing those high-speed progression tools that we spoke about. The second half is in the people, and that's in investing in our engineers of the future. So not only our current management team and engineers, but also the new guys coming through our apprentice scheme and internship scheme, which we reinvented 4 years ago, and we keep investing in that. It's vital that we do that even in the current economic climate.
Yeah, and certainly with quite a small, close-knit team that you've got to bring those apprentices through and train them in the way that you want to train them. And it's great that you say you're investing in your future. Now, you mentioned you export to about over 20 companies worldwide. What impact is Brexit having on the current business?
Interesting question, really. So we are having what I would call issues associated with delays, customs clearance, declarations, changes in terms from customers. So short term, lots of problems, lots of issues to resolve, which are costing money and time, perhaps more importantly. The other side of the coin, being positive for a moment, because I think it really is important we do, in November and December, we saw our largest order intake for new business in recent years. And the three biggest countries that have ordered on us are the Netherlands, Germany, and France, which are all EU's own countries. Yeah. So, and they're all in markets that, we're looking to diversify into. So automotive, is a big market for us. We diversified into that about 4 years ago, but these are different. These are construction, electronics, and pharmaceutical. So quite exciting times, albeit still quite uncertain, and a lot of headaches around paperwork and needless red tape that we perhaps shouldn't have had to do. But here we are. We've got to deal with it and get on with it and keep trading.
And we have, and that red tape, some of it is going to stay around forever, and the processes will get quicker and quicker. The export declarations will get quicker. We're using our local chamber to help with a lot of that because they're a good port of call. And you say that you're still exporting into those countries and you've got growing orders. What are the other growing markets apart from Europe that you see for Brandauer?
So at the moment, our biggest market for volume is the USA. Our biggest market for revenue is China. We're exporting to China. And our biggest revenue for growth, our biggest market for growth is the Middle East. And all for slightly different reasons, really. One want our tool making capability. One want our volume making capability. And one wants our quality. China want our quality in terms of capability, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, and if you look at that total cost of product, quality is certainly a key for a lot of buyers now. And I think the UK and certainly Brandauer, and the way you've got your own engineering, your own design, your own tool making, that total product, including quality, sets you above from the competition.
I'd like to think it does, and I think there's a better understanding of landed cost or total cost now than there's ever been, and an appreciation for shorter supply chains and a premium to be paid for safety in supply, quality, and on-time delivery.
Absolutely. Now you do talk a lot around reshoring, Brand UK, and certainly you guys exporting over to China. It's fantastic to see. How can we further this talk and actually get more support for Brand UK and actually push the UK manufacturing sector? What do we need? Is it government support? Is it something else?
I think there's a number of strands to what we need. I think obviously it's government support. It's also being positive and talking up our capabilities, even in the current climate. And the big one for me is a recognition for innovation. I speak to a lot of customers worldwide, and while we have been looked on through Brexit as perhaps the eccentric nation that wants to go its own way and voted for Brexit, one of the things that we're recognised for as a nation is our innovation capability, our R&D capability, and that's something that still we get acknowledgement for today, and that's what's won us a lot of the new contracts we've had. So funded innovation, an appreciation for innovation, and actually selling our capabilities to design new things, new processes that work on a global scale is absolutely vital to the success of any SME, and it will only attract reshoring solutions if you start doing that.
Absolutely, and we need to look as a group of what is being imported and what we need to have more innovation in the UK. We do a lot of moaning in our sector on cheap products coming into the UK, but as you say, we need to do more innovation. We need to be focusing on where we can add value. Design capability in Brand UK is something that we all need to sell. So how do you see? Obviously, we've got the impact of COVID still rolling out. The vaccine is good news, so at least there is light at the end of the tunnel. We got Brexit paperwork, so the last 2 or 3 years for UK manufacturing has been a pretty tough place to be, but we are quite resilient as a group. How do you see the coming months for UK manufacturing?
I think there'll be a period, like with anything, of stabilisation, and that's associated with Brexit. We've all got to get used to what our new requirements are, what we've got to do. We've got to let our customers and supply chain up and down get used to it as well. So I think the first 3 months of this year at least are going to be to do with stabilisation. Then it's about sort of reinventing ourselves. What can we actually do positively and pivot off the back of what's going on, whether that be COVID or Brexit, and really begin to shout about that. For us, again, coming back to that important point, it's continuing to innovate, continuing to be in the forefront of new developments and new projects, working collaboratively with academia, other SME manufacturers and much larger manufacturers and our customer base to be getting involved with the next generation of product that they're all designing or developing. Electrification, renewables, and pharmaceuticals are all key spin-offs for us, which we pivoted out of COVID into.
So on electrification, you've done quite a lot of investments and a lot of new product coming through on that. Is there anything you can tell us about the exciting products that you're now making in a new sector, in a new market?
Yeah, I mean, so by the nature of what we do, we supply things that connect things together, whether that be mechanical or electrical. 5 years ago, broadly speaking, 5 years ago, we'd never made a component for an electric motor. Electric vehicles, EV as it's called, is going crazy at the minute, and with some of the ambitious targets we've set ourselves as a nation and as a world really to cut carbon emissions, electric cars clearly are part of that. And in 5 years, we've taken ourselves from never stamping a component for an electric motor to actually now becoming one of the few specialists in the UK capable of doing that, not only in high volume, but also in very thin material, which sets us quite uniquely in Europe. So we've had to invest a lot of time, knowledge and effort into that. But in addition to that, new stamping machines, new processing lines, new ways of dispensing lubricants and adhesives in line. So adding more value to the stamping process.
Absolutely. And that innovation, so you mentioned lubricants, because obviously running the presses at the speed you're running, the tools get hot, the material gets hot. And you mentioned the ambitious targets that our government have got for full EV. Ambitious or foolish?
I think probably a little bit of both. I think we've got to be ambitious to drive technology and innovation, and they can be ambitious and foolish so long as they help us get there. And I think that's quite an important point to note. Funding, support, recognition for SME manufacturing and the importance of manufacturing to job creation and revenue generation is vital if we're going to be successful at that and get close to hitting those targets.
Rowan, it's fantastic to hear about your innovation, your passion, positivity, and certainly leading the way is certainly in your sector with your design capability, your manufacturing and tooling. So it's great to hear from you, and good luck for 2021. And yeah, look forward to catching up soon.
Thanks, Chris, and we'll take 2021 by the scruff of the neck and get on with it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rowan. Catch up soon. That brings us to the end of another show. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to meeting more of our brilliant SME manufacturers next week. If you'd like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. Thank you for watching. So from me, Chris G at SDE, goodbye.